Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to rewind the clock all the way back to 2017, and we're going to tear down the original white paper for what became, well, one of the biggest crypto exchanges on the planet. Yep, we're talking about the blueprint for Binance.
And right out of the gate, the paper makes this just incredibly bold prediction. I mean, this wasn't just about launching a new product. No. They were setting the stage for a massive shift in global finance. They were basically painting a picture of a world where crypto-to-crypto trading would totally eclipse, the regular old currency exchanges.
And get this, they even came up with a name for this new reality. The name Binance itself? It's pretty clever, actually. It's a mix of binary and finance. It's meant to represent this brand new, totally digital financial world they were trying to build.
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll look at the problems they saw in the market, then their big solution. After that, we'll dive into the token that fueled the whole thing and wrap it up with the people and the pitch that made it all happen.
So, to really sell this vision, the white paper had to start by convincing investors that, hey, there's a huge problem here that needs solving. So what did they do? They started by just laying out all the critical flaws with the crypto exchanges that were around back in 2017.
And here they are, the 5 big pain points. You had clunky tech that just couldn't keep up. Platforms that were super vulnerable to hacks. Not enough liquidity, meaning you couldn't get fair prices. Customer support? Forget about it. It was awful. And if you didn't speak the right language, good luck. For anyone trading back then, man, this was just everyday life.
Okay, so after painting this pretty bleak picture of the problems, the white paper positions Binance as the solution. And listen, they weren't just pitching another exchange. No way. They were framing this as a complete rethink, a total re-engineering of what an exchange is even supposed to be.
And boom, right away they hit you with this promise of just raw power. This number you see here, 1.4 million orders per second, that was a direct attack on that poor technical architecture problem. It was them saying, hey, we're building an engine so fast, your trades will never get stuck again.
I love this slide because it just lays out their strategy so perfectly. It was simple, right? For every single problem they pointed out, they had a specific answer that was all about their team's experience. Poor architecture, they'd say, well, we have top-tier financial engineers. Insecure platform? Not ours. We have the highest security standards. It was just this brilliant point-by-point takedown of how things were.
They also gave everyone a really clear roadmap of what to expect. The plan was pretty straightforward. Start with the basics, spot trading. Then, step by step, add more complex stuff like margin trading and futures. In the end game, a fully decentralized on-chain exchange.
And right from day one, the vision here was massive. It was all about being global and super accessible. They were planning to support all the major coins, cover literally every device you could think of, web, Android, iOS, even a dedicated PC client, and launch with support for 4 key languages right off the bat.
Okay, but a powerful engine like this, it needs fuel, right? And that's where the white paper explains that Binance isn't just an exchange, it's a whole ecosystem. And at the heart of that ecosystem is its very own native token, Binance Coin, or BNB.
So, BNB started its life as a pretty standard ERC20 token on Ethereum. But it had this one critical feature, a hard cap. Only 200 million coins would ever exist. And the paper makes a huge point of saying that number would never go up. Why does that matter? It creates scarcity right from the start. So how are these tokens split up? Pretty simple, really. Half of them, 50%, were offered up to the public in what was called an initial coin offering, or ICO. 40% were kept for the founding team, and that last 10% went to the early angel investors who got in on the ground floor.
And let me tell you, they moved at lightning speed. The whole timeline from just announcing the plan to closing out the public token sale was less than a single month. And check this out, the exchange actually went live before the ICO was even over. They were not messing around.
So you might be asking, why would I even buy this BNB token? Well, this was the killer incentive. If you used BNB to pay your trading fees, you got a huge discount, starting at a whopping 50% in the first year. This gave the token real, immediate value and gave traders a super clear reason to not just buy it, but to hold onto it. But they didn't stop there. To make BNB even more valuable, the white paper laid out this repurchasing plan. Here's the deal. Binance promised to take 20% of its profits every single quarter and use it to buy back BNB from the market and then just destroy it permanently.
They'd keep doing this until half the total supply was just gone. It's a classic move to reduce supply and hopefully increase the value for everyone still holding.
All right, so we've got the tech, we've got the tokenomics. Now the white paper shifts gears and focuses on what it argues is its most important asset of all, the people, the team behind the vision.
And a huge part of the pitch, I mean huge, was the credibility of the CEO, Changpeng Zhao, who you probably know as CZ. The paper very carefully builds his resume for the reader, starting with his time in traditional finance, building high-frequency trading systems at Bloomberg. Then it shows his pivot into the crypto world, highlighting his role as an early player at a really foundational company, blockchain.info.
And then it caps it off by pointing to his experience as a co-founder and the CTO of OKCoin, which was already a major crypto exchange. You see what they're doing? The message is crystal clear. This guy and this team have the perfect mix of old-school finance chops and new-school crypto DNA.
And it wasn't just about CZ. This credibility message was spread across the whole team. You had a CTO from Morgan Stanley, a chief architect from the legendary data firm Palantir, and the list of advisors, I mean, it was basically a who's who of early crypto. You had names like Roger Ver and Da Hongfei, the founder of Neo, on there.
But, the paper was also refreshingly honest. It didn't try to pretend this would be a walk in the park. It looked the biggest risk, competition, right in the eye and said, yeah, we know. They were completely aware that hundreds, maybe even thousands of other teams were trying to build the exact same thing.
And that brings us to the very end, where the entire pitch, everything we've just talked about, boils down to this one single, powerful question for the reader. It's not just a question, it's a challenge, it's the ultimate sales pitch. They're basically asking, okay, you've seen our team, you've seen our plan. Do you think we have a better shot than everyone else? And back in 2017, the market's answer was a loud and clear yes.